Morning traders, this is your South African top 40, the Aussie day trading setup for today. So GT24's chaos on this chart continues, and every day we end up with this massive green candle which is creating a lot of confusion for me anyway. I really don't understand what the problem is, but if we just highlight it before we go in, you can see after the close, we keep getting these massive candles here, which is not a true reflection of what price is doing. Okay, so I'm just putting in this line here for the close so we can come back and just try and anticipate what the situation is. So we basically closed below the 200 EMA. Okay, we do have a grouping here. We've got not really diversion, but we have a double bottom brewing, and we've got quite a bit of congestion that we're bouncing off here. The trend is still down, and if we look at the 4 hour, okay, now you've got to really pay attention here, or as our ex-president would say, listen carefully. So that bar, this bar, this bar, this one, and this one are all crap. Okay, so they are meaningless in the bigger scheme of things. What you do have here is a bottom, a bottom, a bottom, and then take that there. So essentially what we have is a flat bottom triangle. Okay, now I'm not really a fan of flat bottom triangles near the end of a move, and this is looking like near the end of a move. So I take it with a pinch of salt right now. It's kind of difficult to work your diversions out because of these bars, because it's throwing everything out as well. So I think without these green bars here, you'd probably find that we would be, these two stochastics would be a lot flatter at the moment. But anyway, the trend is down. That is the one thing that you need to take out of this. The trend is currently to the downside. Okay, so I'm uncomfortable trading to the downside right now because it's also looking like a bit of consolidation to me. So for that purpose, I'm kind of staying out of the Aussie at the moment until I can see a base forming and I can get a reason to be long. Okay, right now I don't really have a decent reason to be short either, because all these tails here are indicating indecision. Okay, and also if I look at what's happening on the US markets, it's just adding fuel to the fire. Okay, so you see the trend is down over the last couple of days, and it's been a 1,000-point move down. And I think the challenge for me is that these massive 1,000-point 1 second candles, which is absolute crap, are skewing the picture a hell of a lot right now. Okay, so I'm kind of waiting for a level. So normally when this happens with the Aussie, you kind of continue flirting with this bottom level, which is 49,590 pretty much, and then you get a fast squirt through to pick up some kind of a level on the left here, and you can see what this whole area of congestion is holding up price. There's lots of inside bars here below this. You see, like I said yesterday, there are so many areas where buyers can step in. I mean, there's a massive one right there. I don't see, there's a gap further down here. But each one of these swing highs here is pretty much a level. Okay, so in other words, normally what happens is you have this kind of setup and then you have a squirt down to pick up some level. Let's see if we could find one on the weekly. And you can see on the weekly there's hundreds of them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, there's quite a few levels that you need to worry about on the weekly. Okay, and also, the other one that you can anticipate here is a pullback to at least the 50% of this weekly level, which was basically this bottom level that I've drawn in here. So, take it with a pinch of salt right now. We have broken through the moving averages here. So we could be looking at a weekly turn, but I'm not convinced of that. And I'm also not convinced that we are going to move much further than this. Maybe down to 200 SMA, pick up one of these levels here. $48,660, but either way, I'm not entirely convinced. Okay, so let's just get to the half hour because that's clearly the level we need to trade. So you can see we got the closing range breakout. Okay, we hit the range target right there. There's our range target. Sellers stepped in off that range target, which also lined up to the left with these two fractal points. You can see there. And sold to the 50% of the range. And the buyer stepped in off the 50% of the range. Boom. And then we fell off and slowly moved to the downside. Okay. Now, normally, this is really rare when this happens, when it breaks to the one side of the range, then reverses and goes to the other side of the range. So that normally happens when we're in a correction sequence or when we are in a range. Okay. So to me, this could be the start of a correction sequence, or it could be we could be forming a range here, and that we're going to maintain this range for a bit. So be that as it may, what I'm looking for, and it's almost the same height. Okay. There we go. Okay, so there's my closing range. Move that over for you. So that was my closing range. So what I'm looking for is a break. I'll get rid of the Fibonacci now. Let's just put the levels in on the range targets. And we've got one more there. Okay, so middle two lines is our range. If we break to the upside, we're looking for 4990, 49900, sorry, 49900. And if we break the downside, we're looking for 49410. Okay, so to see if that lines up, that does line up with an inside bar here, plus there's another little inside bar in here, so that makes sense. Moves to the downside, doesn't really line up with, okay, it lines up with these previous lows here. Okay, so that's kind of the view that I've got on the Aussie at the moment, is either keep your money in your pocket and look for something else to trade, or alternatively, if we do get a break up to the side, continue with the downward trend. But I'm uncomfortable with that, to be honest with you. To me, this just looks like we're forming some kind of a base. I'm more inclined to look for where the support is going to form and where we can get in long. To me, that is the higher probability trade than continuing on this downward trend. Okay, so my advice right now, trade the closing range strategy. Take your profit, and it's probably not a lot, 160 points either way, but I would take the profit, and I'm looking for a bottom. I think that's the way I'm putting it. Probably not the best bit of advice to give you for somebody to look for the bottom, but I'll wait for the structure before I even look and convince myself that it's a bottom. So for now, I'm more than likely just going to stay out of this, not going to bother with this. I think you've got a bit of better structure on the Dow and the Dax at the moment, where there's some solid buyers stepping in. With this, Aussie is always delayed behind the US market, so pretty much going to wait, not going to get involved in this. But if you do want to trade this, just get yourself down to a much lower time frame. 5 minutes would probably work the best, and use this as your range. And you can see you've got fractals there on the 5 minutes as well. Well, sorry, I'm on the 6 minute. So that's what you want to do. Okay. If you find a base here, you're looking for that long tight stop, targeting this area, which you can see lines up with the 200 EMA and SMAs. Okay. So that's kind of the view that I've got this morning. If we just have a look at what's happening, what could influence us, Rand dollar 14.40. Not much change from yesterday. 10 cent is down 7.7% at the moment. So yeah, if you read that, and we had a 0.7% gain on the Dow, and the Nasdaq was up 1%. So you read that, your guess is as good as mine. Nasdaq would imply that nice pass would bounce up, which would move our market quite a bit, and 10 cent being down at the moment would imply nice pass is going to gap down, move our market down a bit. Okay, so total confusion continues, and it's not something I want to trade anyway. So short-term scalp will be the closing range strategy. Okay, whichever way we break is the direction you want to go, and take your profit at the range height or the range bottom. Okay, anyway guys, that's it for me today. Hope that helped you somewhat, and I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.